Hey, welcome back to the episode of the Ramen podcast. I'm your host, Juan, and as always, my co-host here with me. Hey, Trip.
Hey, bud.
Dude, it's been a while, man.
I have missed you so much.
How long has it been?
Not even a day.
Not even a day. Missed you.
It's been hard.
It's been hard.
But for everyone else out there, they've missed you probably a little bit lesser of a degree than I've missed you. But like,
I'm back, boys.
Welcome home.
I'm back.
You were doing some shit with your dad to get a truck for the business. Yeah. Long story short, this week we're talking about Doukyusei Classmates, which is a movie that we both enjoyed.
Yeah, I would say so.
It's romance. Anyways, how have you been? Tell me about your trip. Tell me about everything.
Okay, so for people who've listened to the podcast before, I've been planning, in quotations, my father's been planning this business trip down south to like Temecula area to acquire a new taco truck or like a food truck. And us leaving had been like put off a bunch, and it finally happened. They finally got a day to be like, be here on Monday.
Yeah.
And so, okay, we were like, we'll be there on Monday. Little did I know that Sierra had planned for a friend of mine to come visit on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And on Sunday, we had to drive back to the Bay. And then we had dinner with people in the Bay. And so then I had to drive my dad down to Temecula at 3 a.m. after not being able to sleep. So it was fucking rough. I'd never been this tired in my entire life. My eyes were just like watering. My head was like splitting. And like we pulled over and like we took like little breaks and stuff and like peed. And one time I did pull over and like kind of try to like close my eyes for like half an hour. But it wasn't enough. It was bad. We finally got to where we were supposed to go. We finally got to see, we got a hotel room. Yeah. I got a rest for like an hour. And then we went to the like the company that was building these trucks, and we got to see the truck. It's this really nice food truck, like brand new. It's massive though. I don't know if you've seen it anywhere.
No, but I have heard about it. It's like, from somebody else who's seen it.
It's at least like 9 feet longer than the old one.
Oh shit, that's good.
Yeah, and it's just like dumb how big it looks. But everything in it's brand new, which is great. Like I think it was really cool because my mom and dad were kind of stressing about this truck because it's like it was really expensive, and they had this weird fear that like it was like too good to be true. Like kind of like this is a scam. Like you hear people like, give me your money, I'll do this thing.
Well, it kept being pushed off, and it was like, hey, come down and get it. Ooh, we forgot about this. Mm-hmm. Ooh, we forgot about that.
So my dad was like, hadn't been sleeping right in like the last month or two. And so when he saw it, like physically saw it, like this wave of relief went over him. I was like, oh, cool. And then they were telling me, because everything is brand new, they were teaching me how to use everything. And my dad's just like, don't care. This is all on you. And so I'm there like taking notes while I'm like half asleep.
What the fuck? Why doesn't he care?
Well, he cares. It's the guy that was giving instructions only spoke English, and he also spoke really fast and stuff. And like,
that makes it hard.
Yeah, I think it felt like he was like a mechanic kind of talking shop, like this does this and that does this. And I think my dad just kind of like, it was too much for him. And he felt kind of weird about like, hey, can you slow down? So I was like, I'll keep up with you, which really sucked ass because by the time he was done, I was like, cool, let me quickly run through everything you just told me about this truck. And he goes,
because I'm going to forget.
And then he goes, if anything happens, just call us and we'll tell you how to work it. When we're leaving to give like the final signature, the lady goes, oh, here's this there's like paperwork we printed out for you. It has literally everything you know about this truck. And I go,
oh, thank God.
And I was like, oh my God, you could have just told me that from the beginning.
Yeah, but also it's nice to hear it.
Yeah.
So that is good overall. They're like, what they should have done is like, we'll tell you how to do everything, and we've got instructions to go along with that. That would have been way better because I would have been so stressed.
I was, because I was like, what if I miss this? What if I do that? A lot of it's just like, hey, don't turn the switch on before you turn this switch on. Like, it can pop the breaker. And I'm like, okay, I'm like writing stuff down. Like, this pipe does this. And it's like, fucking Christ. But we got it, figured it out. Then we just spent the night, and then we drove back the next day. And it was great. I mean, I think the hour, like, took like 10 hours to get there because we hit traffic. Yeah. And like a little over 9 to come back because we stopped at Sacramento to eat some food. But it's good. Like I really like enjoy spending time with my father. So like on the way there, we just kind of talked about more like recent stuff, like topical things like, hey, what's up with your life? What's going on with this situation, And then on the way back, it was more of, I just like to delve in his life. So it was me asking about like, hey, why did you do this? Or what were you doing around these ages? You know, and like he would tell me stories, and he'd be like about people that I never met have passed away, or people that like are still around, but like somehow played a part in his life. Like two quick examples is like he was telling me about one of his favorite cousins who had polio when he was young.
Damn.
But he survived.
Okay.
And this is in a time when like no one survived, right? But he was very frail and thin and kind of had he had like a messed up leg, but not like too messed up. And I was like, oh, that sucks. He goes like, yeah. He goes like, he was also kind of had a learning disability. Like he was a little bit slower. He's like, but that didn't stop him from being like who he was. It turns out that he was really good at running. Like,
okay.
Yeah, he was like a fast runner, but long distance, like kind of like, so he would race in like school on the track meet, even though he was like this sickly looking kid. And I guess like a few towns over every year, like the town would hold like a marathon race, and businesses would like sponsor racers, like put on their like the logos and stuff. And it was like a thing in the news. And so he got drafted to be like, hey man, come race for my market or whatever.
Yeah.
And my dad, and then he was just like, I'll only go if my cousin can come with me. Like, we're boys. Like, we have to go together. And they're like, yeah, fuck, we'll pay for the both of you to come. And they're like, all right, we're fucking in it. You know? And
that's so cool.
Kicked him out in like a bunch of like gear, and they you know, and he lost because his shoelaces broke. And he still made the newspaper. The newspaper was just like, crippled man gets second place in a race. Anyways, it was like a guy I never heard about, but my dad's like, yeah, he was, and then that story led into more stories about him. I'd never heard about him. He's like, yeah, it's like, he goes, he's just a cousin I grew up with, and you know, we've kind of lost touch, but he's still alive, and one day I'll see him again. And then another story was about my favorite. This guy's my favorite. Whenever I get a chance, I'm like, hey dad, tell me a story about this specific person. I forget his name. It's in Spanish or something, but
okay, it's
this man who was not related to my father directly. Like his aunt, no, his sister was like, and her husband was somehow like the long nephew of this guy or whatever.
Yeah.
That kind of bit. But he was very wealthy, and he lost a lot of his property. The Mexican government took it back because he wasn't like a Mexican-born citizen. And so he lost a lot of his fortune, and he kind of wanted to always like recuperate his fortune. So he would do a bunch of like crazy ideas. Like he opened a cake shop, and his wife would sell the pastries, but neither of them could bake. So what they would do is they would buy cakes from a different shop and then sell them themselves and be like, these are our cakes. And so someone's just like, why would I buy cakes from you? I can just buy cakes from them, who's like 2 blocks
cheaper.
Right? Or he would sell coconuts, just like, we're going to sell coconuts. But it's like, all right, we're going to sell coconuts, you know? Anyways, it just like everything went horrible with this man. And like he would, you know, he was always really pretentious when he was like growing up. My father was around him. And then when they were about 17, 18, his misfortune came. He became poor or whatever. And no one would fuck with him. Like no one would hang out with him. So he would like get like a case of beer, show up to my dad's house and be like, hey boys, come on, we're going fishing. And they would all jump in the truck and they would go fishing and they would get fucking plastered. And he would just start crying. He'd be like, God, I'm so fucking poor. Like no one loves me. And then my dad was like, hey man, we love you. We're poor. We've always been poor. It's like, yeah. And the guy's like, yeah, I've been, he's like, you know what? I really appreciate you telling me that. It hurts me to hear that I'm poor. It's like, but I know it's true because you said it to me. And we're boys. He's like, yeah, we're boys. We're poor boys. So it's like, he's apparently still alive. He's like in a part of a motorcycle club now.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. That's his life now. Like him and his boys put on their jackets and drive down Mexico. But it was a good time. So
right on.
So just like stuff like that. And it's like, I don't know. I really enjoy like he's hearing those kinds of things from my dad. I'm just like, he's like a book. There's so much, there's so much that I don't know about him.
Yeah, it sounds like he's really had a full life.
Oh yeah, for sure. And he's like 55. He's still pretty young.
Yeah,
but fucking Mexico's like a lawless country. So
yeah, so much happens so fast.
Oh yeah, it's wild. When I went there, like when I was 16, I was like, this place is fucking nuts. And people are like, it's great out here. It's like, no, it's terrifying. There's no rules out here. There are rules. People just ignore them.
Yeah.
So we did that. What else have I been up to? Yesterday we had a like Christmas party kind of thing at our place because it's a little early, but I think it's because, you know, they get people to do it before the actual Christmas time when people get busy.
I guess, yeah.
It was fun. We played a few games. We played bingo. We played this like dice rolling game. You kind of came to the end of that.
Yeah.
The game that I didn't like was the game that you enjoyed the most.
It was so much fun.
We Sierra like wrapped up. I don't know what it was like what chocolate or something. It was like a gift in the center, right?
Several gifts.
Yeah, and they were like wrapped in cellophane.
So some candies and some gift cards. Yeah,
and it was kind of like hot potato. And then when the music would stop, person would unwrap it 3 times and then pass it on. And if a gift would drop, you'd keep it. Right, that's how it went. Sierra didn't really explain the rules to me. She was just like, "You're in charge of music," and I was like, "All right." So I was supposed to hit pause every now and then. And so I did that, and people were getting, by the way, Sierra's like family was really competitive.
I know. That's what was so funny about it, is that everyone else was like, this isn't fair. Some people aren't even getting to do it. And like, I didn't give a fuck because I was having such a good time. Yeah. So Juan kept stopping it every time that it would go around on the exact same person, like a few times in a row. And then we were like, okay, you need to get on your shit. It's like, all right. And then it goes to the person directly next to them. Mm-hmm. And then it goes on them a few times in a row. And then, so I'm having a fucking blast because everyone's getting really mad. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. This is just a fun game where somebody's going to win some prizes. Eventually, Juan's going to start doing something different.
Yeah.
And then it kept going around, and I didn't get to unwrap it until like the final couple of rounds. Mm-hmm. And each time that I did unwrap it, I got prizes. So it felt like kind of rigged, which was also really, really funny because I know it wasn't. But what was happening is, since it was going around and everyone wanted there to be somebody different to unwrap it, you're getting a little bit of help from some people that weren't very helpful.
Yeah, they're like, hey, stop now. And
it
was frustrating.
There's a delay between
me hitting
you
pause,
hearing it, and then you hitting pause, and then the Bluetooth speaker turning it off. So there was just so many parts that it's a short delay that it's hard to do because you weren't allowed to look.
It was very frustrating because I was told by Sierra, don't look. I was like, fine, I won't look. So in my head, I just had this internal clock to like, okay, it's been long enough, I'll pause it. It just so happened to be, it would land on the same person every time.
Yep.
And then people got upset. The part that upset me was people were getting upset with me, and I go, I have no control over this besides me stopping it. Like, I'm sorry that it's, this is a game, right?
It's for fun.
Everybody should get a turn. It's like, no, it fucking doesn't.
It's not a fair game. It's a chance game.
Yeah.
And sometimes that's not. Honestly, when people started getting upset, I was just like, all right, it's time to bully Juan.
Yeah. It was fucking shitty.
It was so stupid. Yeah, I loved it so much. Everyone was just getting mad at you, and I didn't care. And then finally, when I got it, everyone cheered because I hadn't gotten it yet. And I'm like, I don't care. I'm like the one person here that probably doesn't give a fuck. Yeah. And I was having so much fun. Like, I never really care about participating in those group game type things. I'm like, as long as everyone's having fun, I'm okay. I don't need to win. I don't even need to participate as long as I make sure everyone else is having a good time, even if it's not like me
winning.
Yeah. I don't care any part of it. Like, it wasn't my game to host.
Yeah.
But as long as other people are having fun, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. And some people were like, you guys are giving it away too fast. You need to hold on to it longer. And I'm like, it's hot potato. Yeah. You just keep going.
Keep handing it.
Yeah. And some people were like, all right, I have it. Here you go.
Yeah. It's like, no, hand it down.
That's not the way I like to play. I'm like, I got it. Your turn. Mm-hmm. That was it. That was my turn. Half a second. And that's why you started doing, because that's how most people play it. So you started doing it to where you would press play and then press stop really quick. Yeah. And it would go like one person.
Because people suck ass. They're supposed to pass it.
Exactly. So it would be like, oh, the music started. Here you go. Okay, it's over. There was one time where it was on one of the girls and they didn't have enough time. The younger girls. Yeah. They didn't have enough time before the music started. They remembered what they were doing. Mm-hmm. They looked down at what's in their hand. And they're like, that's right. I have to pass it. And then you stopped. And we're like, all right, play the music again. Yeah. And they were like about to unwrap it. And they were like, no, you keep passing it. And then you stopped it again. It was so good because you didn't know what was going on.
No.
And you were trying to be helpful. And it's just really difficult when people care about it. Because to me, I'm like, this is hilarious. This is so funny. And people are like, he's not giving them enough time for the game to keep going. And
like, it was my fault.
What?
Like, so at one point, I was like, fuck it. I'm just not going to ever hit pause. I'm like, I'm going to let the whole fucking song play.
And you said that. Yeah. And everyone could hear you. But then after it went out around like a full round of people, they were like, did he forget about it? And I'm just sitting there like, What's happening right now? This is so funny. Like, I know how mad you are.
I was so
and you totally 100% justified in being upset.
I was like, come on, guys. I'm just doing my job. My job is to play the music and then stop the music. That's all I'm doing. There's no science behind it. There's no, I can't make it so everybody gets a turn because that's not how games work. I was like, I'm sorry that some of you guys aren't passing it fast enough. I'm sorry that you guys are arguing as to what are the logistics of how many times you unwrap it. I was like, It's just a game, guys. It really doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love. Like, they felt like they had no agency. Even though earlier you guys were playing that game where you rolled a dice and then you passed things or unwrapped them or stole them or whatever, depending on what you rolled. That feels like you have control, but you don't.
Yeah. I mean, I did get.
There's only one where you do have control, but you don't get to choose when that happens.
Yeah,
so
we got the meat thermometer. No big deal.
Yeah, I know. It was the
hot
prize.
ticket item.
It was the best prize.
Anyways, so we did that. We ate some food. We had some drinks.
Delicious.
We watched. Some people watched Klaus. I already seen it. It's a good movie. It's a good movie on Netflix.
It looked good.
It's good. It looks really, really nice. It was a good time. And then this was yesterday. So then last night, we also went out for my brother-in-law's birthday. He's finally 21.
Happy birthday, Isaiah.
Happy birthday, Isaiah. He's not really a drinker. So we're like, well, let's get you drunk, right? Like, that's kind of like the point. Let's not get you too drunk. Went to the U-Bar, which has like a bunch of like games like, pool, foosball, skee ball, air hockey kind of stuff. And we're like, let's play some of that. We had some drinks. Went to the Banshee. He was kind of like feeling himself a little bit. So he got some food because he was hungry. And then he had one more beer. And then he was really like, kind of like, I don't know, feeling it, I guess. He'd never been drunk before. And he was kind of, I think he was very like, worried about like, oh man, I'm acting weird. I'm acting strange.
Yeah.
And me and Sarah kept trying to like, make him feel like you're doing great. Honestly, like you're not slurring any of your words. You're not knocking shit over. Like, if this is you like drunk, you're handling it very well, and then he asked like, let's have one more drink. He wanted to try a car bomb, which is like dropping like whiskey into a beer and drinking that, which is something I enjoy. I don't do them very often because I enjoy them too much and they get me drunk real quick. So we tried that. He had a good time, and then it was like he said, okay, cool, I'm done for the night. I was like, oh, cool. Like, if that's it,
dude, like that's the way to do it. You get to the point where you're feeling yourself, and then that's it. You're good. And I respect the fuck out of that.
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that he's 21 years old and he already knows, like, hey, that's my limit. Yeah. I'm good. Don't worry about it.
And then I was like, yeah, man, if like you're done, if you don't want to drink anymore, then let's not drink anymore. You go home. So he got a ride when he went home. Me and Sierra like went to one more bar to see a friend. And then we went home and slept in today, which is really nice. So yeah, that's been most of my time. I think maybe I went to the movies recently. I can't remember. Last time
we saw Knives Out.
Whatever. But I think you guys talked about that last week on the pod.
It was good.
It was good.
Would have been better if it was Wes Anderson.
I've been watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. I just want to mention
you haven't talked about that, so go ahead. I do know about it.
I've been watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh. Almost too much. I think in the last like week, I've watched 39 episodes.
That sounds about right.
There are 49 episodes to like a season, so I've been
good shit.
Well, it was. I had finished Criminal Minds, and I started rewatching it. I'm like, this is stupid. Why would I do this?
Yeah, why would you do that?
So instead, I started watching Yu-Gi-Oh.
Good,
which is also pretty stupid.
It is.
What's pretty great is that when Kyle was over, lesser Kyle, not gamer Kyle, not gamer Kyle. I mean DM Kyle.
Well, he's
They're
a
both
gamer
gamers.
now.
They're all gamers. They're all gamer girls. He played Yu-Gi-Oh! And card games growing up. So like when we were, I knew that like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Show wasn't accurate,
Yeah.
So if we're watching the show and someone would do something that's broken, and we would just go, that's not how that works. Or we go, that's cheating, And there was times where we'd be like, is that cheating? And then he'd be like, I don't know, look it up. He'd like look up the card and he goes, the card doesn't do that. They're fucking liars,
Man, could you imagine a Magic the Gathering type show?
Oh,
like,
dude,
that shit would be wild.
That would be really cool. So yeah, I've been watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh.
What about a Gwent type show?
I don't know what Gwent is.
It's the card game from The Witcher. And The Witcher is going to be on Netflix very soon. So anyways.
I didn't know there was games inside The Witcher.
Yeah, there's a game inside The Witcher, and then it became its own game.
Is it any good?
People love Gwent, yeah.
Is it kind of like Magic?
It rivals like Hearthstone.
Okay.
Yeah. Hearthstone and Magic are, of course, the two biggest ones. So Magic is a card game as well as this video game that a lot of people play. where Hearthstone is only a video game that a lot of people play. So they kind of have different dimensions. Mm-hmm. And then Gwent rivals Hearthstone more because it's solely a video game. It's not something you could go out and buy cards and actually like compete with people.
What was the name of? I remember that in Adventure Time they played the game too.
I don't.
They played a card game, and I remember that it became a digital like thing, like a you play.
Oh really?
Like an app for it. You can play it,
Yeah.
But then they also sold physical copies of it.
That's cool.
And I remember like I was at the comic book store. I was like, oh look, this game's a game now, and the comic book store owner was fucking pissed. His argument was like, yeah, this game is horrible. And I go, oh yeah, what's wrong with it? He goes like, it's magic. They stole magic. This is Magic the Gathering. And I go, oh,
that's fine.
I was like, well, isn't that a good way to get like kids into playing Magic? Like it's got Adventure Time. And he was like, no, they should have made their own game. I was like, it's hard to make a card game. Like, Anyways.
I totally agree with you. To me, I'm like, oh, that's a cool collector's item. Like,
yeah, I thought it was super cool looking.
Yeah.
And then
who made it?
I don't know.
Watch it be Wizards of the Coast and maybe Magic.
I mean, it could be, but I know that he was like super upset, and I was like, I mean, he's obviously not that upset because he is selling it to make money. So if he was very against it, he
wouldn't have it in his shop.
Yeah. But that's it. I think that's all I've been up to. What have you been up to?
Nothing.
Okay, cool. Let's move on.
So I did go to your Christmas party as well as my company Christmas party.
That's right, yeah.
And I brought Sierra along. You apparently were really mad at me.
No, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to ruin the podcast.
All I feel is love between us.
No,
so it was just like really unnatural. So I'm like, I'm just feeling love.
We both hate each other. It's very clear.
Yeah. Anyways, went to that and won a gift basket.
Nice.
I didn't want to play. It essentially was a raffle, and you got to choose what you want to put your tickets in or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I gave Sierra all of mine and just said, hey, go choose some fucking shit. It doesn't matter. You'll keep whatever because I don't care about this. And then we wound up winning a basket, but it was my name that was pulled. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, you go ahead and keep it. She tried to convince me to keep it to play this game at your Christmas party. And I'm like, no, you just keep it. And then she used it for a different game.
Yeah. It just became a prize.
Yeah.
We didn't want what was in it. It was like coffee stuff.
Yeah. Which honestly, it had nice mug, nice basket. Those are the two things.
It was a nice basket. Yeah.
And then the person that wound up winning that was like, all right, so basket's nice, mug's nice.
Yeah.
I love that.
The person
that won, keep the coffee.
The person that won said like, cool, we can use this basket for our fruit basket. And, our current fruit basket can go back to being a strainer because it's a strainer.
Yeah. So great.
Yeah.
So congrats on the colander, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see, the rest of the week, Monster Hunter came out with a big update, which is huge for me. It was advertised as a huge update, and sometimes things do that, and then they're really small. But Monster Hunter, this is more so just like hey, it's a big update because we're putting a lot of stuff in it, but it's not going to be fully released until later. Mm-hmm. So they were like, you're going to get to fight Stygian Zinogre. And I'm like, cool. It's the same kind of monster that we already have, but it's going to be a little bit different. I love that. And then we fought it. It was crazy fun. You're fighting like a WWE wrestler, dog, wolf.
Cool.
Dragon. It's all electric and stuff. And after beating that, we were like, wow, that was amazing. That was so much fun. What a crazy fight. And it's like, hey, there's more. And we're like, oh shit, there's more. Okay. I want to check this out. And they have an extra little fight, which is just like a demo fight, essentially. You have to ward off this huge dragon that has, I think, the most fun kind of classic dragon look. It looks like Smaug from The Hobbit, or it looks like the D&D classic red dragon on the box. That kind of generic Western dragon looking thing. But it's more fun because it's in this world where nothing looks like that. So it really stands out.
Yeah.
And then the fight itself is just intense. It's nonstop. It's an adult form of another monster, and it's shooting lasers out. But the old one that shot lasers was like a little bit of a wind up and then a big old blast. And this one is, it looks at you, it shoots out like a blast of stuff suddenly. Mm-hmm. Has pretty much no charge up, and instead of it being like a big old beam, it's like either an energy blast, just a small like boof kind of ball type thing, or it's like a tiny laser that goes in and explodes giant, which I always like those kinds of things. It's hella fun. Yeah, exactly. And then the end of the fight, it does one giant move where it gets really mad at everyone, flies up in the air. Suddenly the whole ground starts like rumbling with wind and stuff, and you go and hide behind a rock that's made out of some special material. And you see this tiny little laser appear in the middle of the map, and it's just beaming down. It's just coming down, and you're like, okay, so shit's going to go down. And then you see him spit something out, and this tiny little orb goes down that ball. It's kind of like a New Year's ball drop. And then when it hits the ground, it like nukes the whole place, and there's an insane explosion.
Yeah.
So much fun. And then it's like, all right, good job. You researched it. We'll come back later and do it. So next week, I'll tell you how the actual fight goes.
Cool. That sounds really fun, actually.
It's so cool. It's kind of like a combination of a couple of different monsters and like the mechanics that they've taken from those fights, readjusted them, and made it better. It's crazy because normally when games come out with updates, it's like, oh yeah, this update's really cool. That's not really how I feel about Monster Hunter. Instead, I'm just like, this new fight is my new favorite fight. Mm-hmm. Like, instead of it being like, oh, it's really cool, and like they added all these cool different things. For Monster Hunter World Iceborne being the expansion, it did add a lot of new things. It made the game better significantly. It changed up gameplay mechanics, did a lot of things. But with each of these updates, it's not so much changing gameplay mechanics. It's just like, here's a new fight. Maybe you'll like it. Maybe you won't. It's something new. It's not just a new difficulty. It's a new monster. It's fun. I like it. Great job. Let's see. Played some Secret Neighbor. It's terrifying. Mm-hmm. Got Sierra to play a little bit with us, which is dope. Isaiah was able to lend his computer to Sierra, and we were all able to jam. And it was a great little time. And trying to remember exactly where all of this was at. Last week, I don't think I got to talk about it on the podcast. My car died, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what was going on. Tried to figure stuff out. Since my radio and like sound system were working, all of the lights were working, but my car just wasn't turning on. I figured it might be the starter or spark plugs or something that's different.
Mm-hmm. Not the battery, yeah.
Not the battery. So I'm putting off calling AAA because I don't really care that much. I live where I work, so who gives a shit? Except for getting food, which is kind of a bummer. Like, whatever. So then I set up an appointment to take it into the shop. And I suddenly decided, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go ahead and get my car fixed. I think I might have told this on last week's episode, but I'm not 100% sure.
I haven't finished it, so I can tell you.
And it doesn't matter. Long story short, he was able to get my car up and running, said that the levels seemed okay, and jumped my car. And then he was like, well, it's working now. You want a new battery? Yeah, of course. And then he got a new reading off of the new battery when my car worked totally fine this time. He was like, oh, yeah, those are way better. When beforehand he was like, yeah, everything should be okay. Fine. Yeah. It's fucking weird. So anyways, I still took my car in the next day, just get a tune-up and stuff. And I had my morning all planned. I'm like, oh, this is great. I'll go get a breakfast burrito. I'll go get some coffee. I'll just hang out downtown for a little bit. And then I'll go pick up my car and I'll be good. And then they were like, ooh, hey, your car has a recall on it, so we're going to have to replace the airbag in it.
Oh, that's important.
Yeah, and I'm like, fuck, okay, yeah. If it was the airbag, or if it was like almost anything else, I'd be like, we'll just do it like next week if that's okay.
Yeah.
But it was airbag, so I'm like, just in case, I don't want to die. So yeah, let's for sure do that. Like, I'm okay with being like, fuck, my car broke down. I'm an idiot. I should have taken care of it. I'm okay with being mad at myself, but if I'm dead, I can't even be mad.
Bro, recalls are wild. Like, I've had like a few in my life. My favorite one was one my mom got. She goes, hey, I got this letter in the mail. I was like, what do you think? And I read it, and it was saying that like, so the bedding of her truck or whatever didn't have a liner underneath.
Yeah.
And that like, if say you were to like use some sort of like strong cleaner to like clean the back of it, it could theoretically get down there and like erode something and it could explode. And I was like, yeah, well, this one's pretty serious. And she's like, are they going to charge me? I was just like, no, they'll fix it for free. And she goes, oh, okay. Well, yeah. Because in her head, she's just like, well, if they're going to charge me, like, I don't know if I want to. It's like, it's that or you blow up maybe. She's just like, I guess we'll get it fixed.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I'm like, I have to. So, because it was going to take so much longer, I'm like, hey, just give me a ride back to my place if that's all good. And they're like, yeah, sure thing. We'll get you a shuttle. And then I step outside waiting for the shuttle to show up, and a fucking limo pulls up, and the dude hops out of the car, and he's like, where are we going? I'm like, this is the shuttle? He's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got that text. I remember I got the text. It was like, hey, man, can you give me a ride? I was like, like you said, around like a certain time. And I go, nah, man, I'm still on the road. You go, because you didn't know I was coming back later. Yeah, I didn't know
exactly what the schedule was.
Because you thought maybe I was already in town. And
I thought you came back Monday night.
No.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
And you go, oh, dude. And he goes, my bad, I didn't know. He goes, oh, by the way, I'm in a limo. And then he's got a photo of you in a limo. And I go, what is going on? I'm like, where is he that he... And then me and my dad were like talking about it because we're like, well, this is new. So, and I was like, yeah, Trip wants a ride. He's in a limo. And I was like, why is he in a limo? I was like, I don't fucking know. I was like, maybe like my guess was maybe like the car service ordered him a limo. I'm like, but why the fuck would they give him a limo? And I thought maybe he went to like a really shitty like mechanic, and they're like, hey, we don't have a real car, so here's a limo. And then I eventually pulled over, got gas, and like asked you, and you're like, yeah, it was the mechanic. I was like, yeah, cool. I was kind of right. It's still really strange.
It was really funny though, because I went to the dealership, and when they pulled out the limo, I'm like, all right, this dude either wants to drive his limo or something's wrong with the other cars.
Was he in a suit kind of thing, or
no?
He was just like,
he was just dressed for work, you know.
Cool.
Pretty cash.
That is very strange though.
It was so funny. So that was wild. Car's good. Car's running fine. So I'm stoked about that.
And the airbags are replaced.
Yeah, the bags are replaced. Yeah, everything's good with me. I don't know. There's not a whole lot of updating. Just been playing some vidges and watching some television, and not a lot of exciting stuff.
Do you want to talk about anime then? I know I haven't watched, besides Yu-Gi-Oh, I haven't watched a lot of anime lately.
I do want to catch everyone up. My mom has finished season 1 of Attack on Titan. Nice. And she is going headstrong into season 2. But since she's got a whole weird living situation, all I have to say is that she doesn't have internet where she's at, so she has to download episodes in order to watch them.
Yeah.
She can't download episodes on Hulu, and Netflix only has season 1. So what the fuck, right?
Both those things sound really wrong. Like, why would you only have season 1? And then 2, why hasn't Hulu added that as a feature?
I think it might have to do with because it's tied to live TV, and they haven't figured out a good way to just like let people do it to certain things, or how much work it would take. I don't know. That's my only idea.
That's super janky because I know. So Crunchyroll lets you download, right? No. Netflix lets you do it.
Yeah.
Amazon Prime lets you do it. I want to say maybe even High Dive. No, Funimation lets you do it. Those 3 things let you do it. Yeah, fucking Hulu, pick your shit up, dude. What are you doing?
Man, yeah.
And then even if it was because it was connected to live, why does that affect things? Like, you know,
don't know.
Sometimes you got a DVR something. It's the same thing, right? Like download a show. That's dumb. Yeah, I'm sorry for your mom, man.
I know. I feel
What's
bad
she gonna
for
do?
Her, but I'm like, hey, mom. At least know that we had to wait like 5 years for season 2.
Fucking Christ.
And she's like, oh, no, I couldn't deal with that. I'm like, yeah. So anyways, because I had all that time, I was able to talk with friends and figure some things out about the show before it happened. Mm-hmm. And she's like, okay. And I'm like, have you thought at all about the Colossal Titan and the Armored Titan? She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, you remember how like the female Titan was somebody?
Yeah.
She's like, yeah.
Yeah. Like her eyes get really big.
Yeah. So she's trying to think of it. She's like, do I need to rewatch it? I'm like, if you need to kill some time, you could rewatch it.
If you can't find season 2 somewhere.
Yeah. And she's like, I know that, Aaron's got something going on, and what's the deal with Mikasa? I'm like, Mom, you just need to rewatch it. Mikasa's Mikasa.
She's
Mom,
like, I don't really trust this Armin kid. I was like, yeah, he's a piece of shit.
Oh my God. So yeah, I'm very excited for her to continue watching more. And then I also remembered, oh, hey, you're not going to see some cool shit that's out there because nobody has it. I don't think. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. We did have somebody recently say like on our last episode, Sierra and I watched it, Girls Last Tour on Amazon, and they didn't have an English dub of it. But you can find the English dub on High Dive or Verve.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. High Dive's got all kinds of English dubs. High Dive's great.
Yeah, they have the Dragon's Dentist if you just want to see a cool movie.
It's a really cool movie. Anyways, so she's going to miss out on like which I thought was the best episode. Maybe I don't know how it compared to with other episodes in season 1, but the one where it's an OVA. This girl had a diary she was writing.
I never saw that one.
Yeah, exactly, which I thought was awesome. So I felt bad because I told you about it,
and I was like, "What are you talking about?
My mom won't be able to see that." Yeah, this chick has a diary, and then she's part of the Scouts. and she gets chased off and winds up running into a Titan and getting snatched up. But turns out that the Titan speaks English, and then it wound up eating her.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah, they found this Titan. They're like, what the fuck?
Whenever you tell me about it,
yeah.
I was like, I'm like, I remember when you first told me, I'm like, my trip's high. Like, he made this up in his head.
Nah, it's an
OVA,
OVA,
then I was just
man.
like, oh, it's an OVA? Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. OVAs can do whatever. There are a lot of like beach episodes and stuff in OVAs that you're like, why the fuck is there a beach episode for?
Yeah, beach episode for Attack on Titan's like, it's like season 3, part 2.
Yep.
Yeah.
It took a long time.
Man, it took a fucking dragging their feet there. I feel bad for your mom not being able to watch it like on Netflix or somewhere convenient, you know? But I also have no sympathy for anybody who is watching Attack on Titan because fuck them. They didn't have to wait the time we waited. God, I'm still mad about that. I'm never going to not be mad about how long we waited for season 2.
Oh, man. It was a long time.
For it to not even be 2 core. That fucking blows my mind.
Yeah, well, it's fine.
No, fuck you. I'm mad.
So okay with it. I don't care anymore.
Season 3 is great, though.
Fuck it, dude. Imagine if it was season 2 of One Punch Man instead. See, that's the kind of shit that hurts.
Really bad.
Because One Punch Man, we had to wait a few years for it. You know, that was like 4 years or something.
No, it was like 2, maybe.
Was it? Because we got to watch it this year, and I remember it came out like a few years ago. It's like at least 3.
All right, you.
It was
talking.
before.
I'm gonna look it up.
It was before we did the podcast. I know that.
That one. Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Okay. Anyways, so my mom's caught up on that on season 1, so I'm very excited for her with that. But then I've been watching a lot of different shows. I've been watching Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life? And I am really enjoying that one, but like to a lesser extent than I expected to. I'm just having fun with each episode. It's just a slice of life. It's cute girls doing cute things and some magic, and there's not a whole lot going on. I'm really liking it just as like something to break up the rest of TV for me right now. Anyways, what'd you get?
So season 1 came out in 2015,
Okay.
October.
October. It's been 4 years.
Season 2, July of 2019.
Yeah.
A little less than 3-4 years.
Okay.
We're splitting
All
hairs.
right, man.
Yeah.
If we're gonna say
No, but yeah, I guess it was a long time. God, that sucks
Yeah, it was a
ass
minute.
though. But the thing is because I didn't see One Punch Man until like a couple years after it aired. I guess it didn't feel as long. Yeah, man. I'm still mad. I don't care. It could have been worse. I'm still upset.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, imagine being a No Game No Life fan
and never getting a second season instead of getting a really shitty movie.
Yeah, getting a shitty like spin-off
that
kind of movie.
They spoil at the beginning because they're like, yeah. So when the main character dies, and you go, what's going on?
You shut the fuck up. Are you kidding me? Yeah, that wild shit that they decided to pull there. Weird. Anyways, so yeah, it's an all right show. Cute girls doing cute things. It's good. But then 2 shows that follow very similar lines of enjoyment. We've got Dr. Stone. He's made a cell phone now. That you're caught up. He's made a cell phone.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming they were going to make a cell phone.
But they keep calling it a cell phone, and at no point did I ever expect it to be a cell phone. And there's no possible way this is a cell phone. But
is it like a walkie-talkie?
No.
It's like a cell phone?
No.
You can text people?
No.
FaceTime?
No.
Snapchat?
No.
Okay.
None of that. It's like a bunch of batteries all lined up and like connected to each other that's connected to a giant pole. He essentially made just like the first telephone, like a big ass old timey giant fucking phone.
Like a Nokia.
Like a phone, not a cell phone. Like it's just a phone.
But they keep calling it a cell phone.
Over and over and over.
Is it upsetting you?
Yeah, just because I'm like, okay,
just call it a phone.
I want to know what makes the difference. And I think that they were just trying to ham it up, like make it more exciting for some reason. But I think it would be amazing if they were just instead like, oh, the phone.
Are they calling on? Time out, because I haven't seen this right. Are they calling it a cell phone or are they calling it a smartphone? Because I know that earlier they said we're going to make a smartphone or whatever. Because that would upset me more. Because a smartphone implies a lot more than...
I don't remember if they kept saying smartphone or cell phone, what specifically they said. But in my head, it was always just like cell phone.
Okay.
Because I knew it wouldn't be like the images that they kept showing, which was a smartphone. Which was like a touch
screen,
and they would do it over and over. And then they were like, oh, we're making the plastic. And somebody's like, oh, shit, like plastic cell phones. I get it. Yeah, it's totally going to be like a smartphone. And then it's a giant...
chunk.
Yeah, it's just a big ass fucking tower.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyways, show's all right. Dr. Stone's just one of those things that you watch because you like learning the science behind it, and it's got some okay characters, but mostly it's just like too many anime tropes, and like it's goofy as fuck, but not in a way that I feel like is super fun. Just in a like, this character's dorky and is saying the same thing they always fucking say. They're not doing anything different. They're just saying the same shit over and over. We're like, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it works out pretty good. I'm not trying to say that, Didn't I Say to Make My Abilities Average in the Next Life is a masterpiece or anything, because clearly it's not. But they have some like tropey anime shit going on, but it works pretty well because they don't repeat stuff and they're not trying to like just make a stereotypical character. They're instead like, all right, so this one's going to be the tsundere one, but we're going to change up like a bunch of stuff, which I think is how anime should adapt and be fresh. Like take a formula that works, slightly change it and make it your own. Mm-hmm. Totally fine. So that's my difference between these shows. My disdain for Dr. Stone just being the same all the time, and it's not changing, and it never feels fresh or new.
I think for like a child, they'd be like, this is so cool.
Yeah.
His joke's funny, because it was funny last week, and it's funny the week before that. So it's funny this next week.
Oh, yeah. It's totally aimed at a younger audience. Yeah. It's fine. Dr. Stone's all right. But the show that's really shining for me, and it's hitting all the right points and doing the exact same thing,
the wrestling
is
show?
Ascendance of a Bookworm.
The Bookworm show.
It has gotten so good, and I don't know what specifically is good about it, but I feel like each episode I watch, I'm way more intrigued, I'm way more invested, and I just want to know what's going on. And at this point, she is now like constantly almost dying.
Yeah, because she's super sick, yeah.
She's super sick, and she has the devouring, and she knows that if she's supposed to keep her drive and, like, keep being motivated, it wards it off better, and she is, but it's still getting stronger and stronger. So now during the day, she'll, like, feel faint every once in a while, and she winds up being okay, but she's gotten really sick at the end of the episode. Bummer. That's kind of where we're at. But she is starting her own business, and she's the one responsible for all these cool things. So she's got like, she's been selling her, like hair clips that are really fancy and unique that people love. She just started selling baskets. They had bought the rights to her shampoo, like all-in-one shampoo conditioner thing. And the materials, like what you need to use, the recipe, they essentially bought the rights to the recipe. And she told them everything, and they're like, it's not doing what yours does. What are we doing wrong? She's like, oh shit, your cloths are too nice. You're using really good cloths to wring stuff out, which means that it has finer holes, so it's catching more materials. But those larger chunks are actually really important. If you have those leaves and stuff, it acts as like an agent in it, and it really helps everything out. And they're like, what the fuck? This little girl,
what is wrong with this little shit? Demon? Yeah.
And essentially she's like, oh, fuck, they are on to me. They know that something's up. And she's just like, so I know it's pretty weird. Like, I'm young. I know a lot of shit. Don't ask me where I know all that stuff. You keep finding out more, though. Keep paying me for it. You know how profitable I am. Don't question it. She essentially said that to her. I don't really know what he is. He's not like business, a master, but yeah.
Like a business associate of some sort.
Yeah. So she said that to her guy, because you know everyone's got a guy, so she's got her guy. Yeah. She says that to her guy, and he's like, fuck, you got a point. Okay, cool. Let's just keep doing business as usual, and we'll keep paying you more money, because you know what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah, she's essentially like, hey, don't look to give forth in the mouth. You know, like, I make the stuff, I know the stuff, you sell the stuff, shut up.
Yeah. And when she started feeling bad, too, and she left, the business guy was like, hey, Lutz, her little, like, small friend, come back here for a second. And he's like, don't you ever make her fucking worry about you, because if she worries about you, that's going to make her get sick and die. So you be the best you that you know you can be, and you just do anything she says. And he's like, yeah, I got this. Let's fucking go.
Nice.
And he's like 6 years old or whatever. So it's really funny seeing these kids interact with these adults in a mature, cool, responsible way. And their family just keeps being blown away. Like, Lutz's family doesn't want him to be a tradesman because he'll be traveling the whole time. And they're like scummy, skeezy people. They're trying to get the most out of people. Meanwhile, Mine's mom is just like, yeah, but she's like pretty good at what she's doing. And the guy that they're working with seems like he's a really good guy. Like everyone really respects him. So I don't really think it's a bad thing. It's interesting. I really like the dynamics between things and getting to learn more and more about the world. And like if the contract is broken that they made with their blood magic, they'll both die. Like that kind of stuff where you're like, oh, wait, shit. Okay. Whoa, fuck. It's cool. It's fun. And then getting into more shows, Kimono Wrestler, he finally met up with the wrestler that he was going to fight in that first match. He got summoned to another world, and then his, I don't really know what to call him.
His opponent?
I guess, yeah, his opponent from the original, like, I was going to say, like, his rival, but they're not really rivals, but one of them thinks that they are, so I don't really know. Anyways, the bad one got summoned into the world for the bad people, and now they finally met up with each other, and he's like, cool, well, let's have a match. And he's all stoked. He's like, what's up, dude? I missed you. Let's fight each other. It's going to be fun. And then now everyone's trying to fight each other to the death.
Of course, yeah, the way you do, yeah.
That's the way it goes. But I don't think it's our wrestling friend's plan to kill him, but he would if he could. Anyways, it's good. I'm having a fun time with it. It's enjoyable. Stars Align, really good. Really good. Everyone's got their own issues. This last episode, I did not know where it was going to go. It focused on the depressed kid, and I couldn't figure out what was going on because it was also focusing on this other kid he has a stepmom, as well as, I don't know if it's a sister or a half sister, but it's focusing a lot on the brother-sister relationship. She's a lot younger than him. Mm-hmm. So he's like trying to help raise her and like being really positive around her and everything. I'm like, okay, this show, everyone's fucking sad about something. What's going on?
Yeah, why are you sad?
Yeah. So I didn't know what was going to happen with that, and I was nervous the whole time. Wound up being pretty okay, but it could have been way, way, way worse than what happens. So I was happy with that. Also, last week it addressed this kid being gay, which I thought was a really, really good episode, and like wanting to be a girl, but not like fully committing to it exactly. Very new topic for Japan, that kind of stuff, addressing it in a mature, responsible way, opposed to making fun of it, which I think is what a lot of shows do. They kind of make fun of it because they're not
very accepting or
woke, it's just
if
very
you will,
different in their culture, and they're not quite up with the modern times as far as those views go. So anyways, I really liked the show addressing it in a very mature way that anime hasn't done before, in my opinion. Because what we're talking about today is also going to be focused on a gay couple. That's the entire movie. It's a romance between those two guys. And I feel like it's handled pretty okay. It's handled like most other relationships. But I feel like in Stars Align, it addressed a lot more of the like, I feel like more comfortable about this. My family doesn't like it. I don't really know if any other people would like it, those kind of like doubts, like, am I really feeling this way? Or is this just because of certain things? Or can I change that? And just trying to figure it all out. And I really liked how they brought each part of that into play. Anyways, Stars Align, great show. It's probably the show of the season, even though I'm really, really loving Ascendance of a Bookworm, like not fucking around with that. And then Vinland Saga, you came in at the end of our last episode. You fortunately didn't see it. We've had a lot of things change in a couple of episodes, and you're a little bit behind on it, right? Essentially, we are at a totally different point. Don't know what's going on. Don't know exactly what the plan is, but there's something going on with the king as well as our new group of people. That's all I have to tell you. Okay. It's very exciting. I can't wait to see more. it ends with a character death, and that's what you walked in on. Like, oh shit, don't look.
Someone for sure died. I couldn't tell you who because it was in Japanese, but I heard it.
Yep, someone was dead. And let's see. I think My Hero is the only other one to talk about. It's good. Mm-hmm. There was just the episode that focused on Sun Eater and his fight in the thugs
dungeon thing. It's like an underground lair.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. It was really cool. Sun Eater is such a cool character.
I like him a lot.
He's definitely one of the best ones. And next episode is going to focus on Kiriyama, so I'm very excited about that too. Just doing some riot stuff. You know how it goes.
Him and Facum. Yeah. The boys.
I also really liked how Deku and Red Riot just fly up and busted through a wall in this last episode. I know you haven't seen it yet.
No, but I've read it.
But you've read it, yeah. They just bust up and fly through a wall, essentially, in order to find out what's on the other side. Mirio checked it out, and then he pops back and is like, yeah, there's for sure more stuff. They're like, all right, let's bust through it. And they're the strong arms in the group. And I'm like,
they're the muscle, yeah.
They are? Oh, my boys.
It's wild to think they've come such a long way, right?
Exactly.
Because I remember earlier season, like, this guy with the red hair, he gets hard. That's stupid. I was like, oh boy, our boy gets really hard. and he can punch shit and whatever. Yeah. I was like, nice.
It's tight, man. My Hero, it's always weird to me to think of it as just a typical, like, long-running shonen because it feels so much different than other ones, I think.
But it has been running for super long now.
It has been, yeah. But I feel like there are certain things that are very typical shonen and that not a whole lot progresses each episode sometimes. Focuses on something for a very long time and then not a whole lot happens. And there are other episodes where it's like, oh, this is kind of filler, like whatever. But I feel like it addresses the characters in such different ways than typical shonen does, where you don't really know who's going to be important, where most shonen is like, yeah, that guy's fucking important. All right, that's everyone on the team. Like, you know exactly what's going on.
Well, I think that most shonen, at least older ones, are pretty jaded. It's just like, I wonder who's important here. That guy has pink hair and that guy has blue hair. They're going to do something. But now it's like,
look at Black Clover too, though. Yeah, because Black Clover is a new one that's doing the exact same stuff as all the old ones because it works.
Yeah, but the cool thing about My Hero is they're all there. They have a huge cast, and any of them at any point could be in play. Like it's not just like we're only going to focus on these two guys. And some people have been complaining. I don't know who I was talking to, but they were complaining about it's become less about Deku. And it's like. Yeah, but Deku's not even like, it's not that Deku's a bad character. It's like, but he's also like, there's other really cool characters in this world that like, I don't care that I don't know. It's not just focusing on him becoming the best hero ever, because when that happens, that means the show's done, you know?
Yeah, essentially. And he's getting the focus that he needs where he needs it. Like, has he done anything new? No, he hasn't done anything new since he's learned how to do like shoot style.
Yeah.
But he's working on his confidence and he's working on his game plan a little bit more. And he's just working on things. But we don't need to see his progress with each step of the way because we know he's doing it. And then he'll eventually be like, I think I finally got this thing down. It's like, okay, cool. That's all we needed. We just needed that like one little thing for him to say, or like, oh man, I'm finally feeling more confident in being an actual hero and not just in a student apprenticeship or whatever. Like, we don't need to know how he's feeling every single day, every step of the way.
Yeah.
I really like that it focuses on other people. I liked having that focus on Kiriyama going up against a guy in an alley. I really like that we're focusing on the big three a little bit more. It's tight. Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyways, good show. I've decided that I fucking hate when it reminds you what their abilities are if they're characters that have been around for a long time now. Yeah. It's like, this is Deku.
His favorite meal is fucking...
No, that's fine if it's in between things, because it's like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. I forgot his blood type is like that.
You mean in
like,
the show?
Yeah, it's like, Deku, power, one for all.
And you go, I know. I fucking know.
All Might, power, one for all. Eraserhead, power, erase ability.
That reminds me, actually, that little bit reminds me. I watched The Irishman. On Netflix. It's Scorsese's new film. It has a bunch of people like Al Pacino, fucking Robert De Niro, fucking Joe Pesci. Everybody who's ever been in a Scorsese movie, except for fucking the guy from Goodfellas, is in this movie. Anyways, One thing they did, it's super long. It's 3.5 hours long. I've been putting off watching it because like that's a huge commitment, right?
Is.
One thing that I noticed that felt kind of odd at first, but by the time the movie was done, I really appreciated. Whenever they would introduce a new character, they would be like, it wasn't every character, but they would introduce a character and be like, hey, this is Billy the fucking whatever, and then they would. It would pause, and then like a white text would pop up, and they'd like, it'd say their legal name, like their nickname, and then they'd be like, how they died, like shot 8 times in the face or whatever, and then like other people like, yeah, this is the attorney, would pause, like, name, whatever, and then it'd be like stabbed 20 times or whatever, and I was like, oh, it's super cool because at least now I know that they don't,
you don't have to be committed to them.
You don't have to show me either. They don't have to be like, everybody dies. It's like, cool, I remember that guy died. Who gives a fuck? I was like, so in that sense, I like it, but it did remind me of the whole in the actual show, and it pops up like Deku can do this. Like, I know what Deku can do.
I fucking know. Yeah, show me the new one and show it to me like every 3 episodes. Don't show it to me like, what's this guy do? Oh, he does that. Can't wait to see it. Oh, cool, I got to see it. And then a couple episodes goes by, and you tell me what he does again, just as a reminder. And then when he uses his power, we already know what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to be reminded of it right then. It's just weird.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah. So anyways, the fact that they kept doing that, I'm like, why, though? You didn't say what Fat Gum did.
Yeah.
Why'd you say what Deku does?
Well, you're not going to find out what Fat Gum does until Fat Gum announces what he does, That's always the rule in My Hero. Like, they have a quirk, but we don't know what it is. And they go, now you know what my quirk is because I showed you using it.
We
or
already
whatever.
know what Fat Gum does.
But he's not ready to vocally say it.
He's said it several times.
Once he comes out and wants to let us know what he does, then we show up on the bulletin board what he does.
He even says that. He's like,
that's not how it works, man.
My ability lets it so I can get shot and stabbed with anything and not die, and I just absorb it.
He wasn't ready to say it.
He literally said it right there.
Nah. I like Fat Gum a lot.
He's great.
Yeah, good design.
Anyways, that's the thing that irritates me, and that's the most shonen part to me is the recaps and that, which I consider to be a recap.
Yeah, that's fair.
Fuck up with it. It's still a fucking amazing show, though. People really need to get on it if you've been slacking. It's worth it.
Okay, you done?
Yeah, that's anime, I think.
Any anime news?
Yeah, not really much, but there's a little bit.
Oh, let's get it.
All right, cool. So first, I'm just going to surprise you with a little fact. Toonami has some demographics that got released, right? Uh-huh. So Adult Swim viewership is 55% male and 45% female.
Ooh, that's pretty even.
Yeah, you want to guess Toonami?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I think the Toonami demographic is 70% male, 30% women.
How about is 55% female, 45 male?
No way. Girls watch more anime, huh?
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Look at us, 2019. Man, we are killing it.
Here we go.
That's great. That's awesome.
Yeah. I thought that was pretty incredible. Just considering, like, growing up, I didn't know any girls that watched anime until I was
weebing out,
17 or 16 or something like that. Then I had a friend that did watch anime that was a girl. And other than that, there was my sister who was on Gaia and stuff and was way into anime. She was more into anime than I was. And I was the one that kind of like started watching anime first. So she was aware of it, found her own shit that she liked.
Fruit baskets.
It worked out. Fruits basket, Chobits, all that good shit. Anyways, thought that was really interesting. I'm like, cool. It's good to see that.
Yeah.
But also, get on it, dudes. Should be 50-50.
That's still pretty even.
Should be 50-50.
Yeah. No, it's fine.
All right, cool. In some not as chill news.
Damn.
Yeah. So I thought we should start out with some cool shit and then get into
not cool shit.
The GAINAX CEO, Tomohiro Maki, has been arrested for asking the voice actor intern at GAINAX to do nude photography.
That's damning.
Yeah, man. I mean, GAINAX is this old ass company, and they do make some like kind of etchy sketchy stuff every once in a while. So it's fucked up to hear that.
I mean, it just goes to show you that like it's not just the United States that has issues with like people in power taking advantage of stuff.
It just happens.
It is a real bummer. Fuck those people. You know, like it's crazy to think that they think they can get away with things like that because they're wealthy or because they have great jobs. He deserves to get in trouble. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, don't know how long he's going to be arrested for or what the fines are or anything like that.
It's probably going to be...
I hope that he learns his lesson and that other people can learn from it as well.
He's obviously going to be fired, so...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if he's arrested, he's fired.
Yeah.
For sure.
There's that guy that was... What was it? Was What show was it that he was like kidnapping people?
Fuck.
Was it the show with the animal girls?
No.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was not.
But you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I definitely do. Because they were like a few episodes into it for the season. And then it was like, oh,
director fired, arrested kidnapping people.
It's fucked up. Yeah, I don't remember. Go back like a year or two in our podcast and find out for us, everyone.
For sure, yeah. Help us out.
You probably just know it because I forget everything, so whatever. All right, so next up, it's officially announced that the Konosuba movie, Legend of the Crimson, is going to be showing in the UK on the 12th. So y'all get your tickets. Get ready to watch. I think you have like 1 day before it airs. If you're listening on the day that this came out,
it's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. Anyways, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. Next up, I showed you this earlier. This is how little news I have. Lisa has put out a piano cover of her Demon Slayer intro.
Yeah. You played it and you're like, what song is this? What show is this? And I was like, fuck, this sounds so familiar. And I couldn't remember it. And Kyle gave me 2 hints. I still couldn't remember it. Eventually I got it and I was like, oh, Demon Slayer. That show kind of sucks. Good song though.
Great intro.
Yeah, great intro. It's so good. It doesn't deserve to be with that show.
Yeah. So her piano cover of her own song, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
It was good. She's just a great artist. All of her intros are fucking popping, like Sword Art Online. I still got that.
Yeah, it gives me those vibes for sure.
Yeah, man. She knows what she's doing.
Well, her name is Lisa.
Lisa.
Ah, good.
A big L, little I, big S.
Little A?
Hang on.
Big A. I'm going to guess big A.
Big A.
Big A. Nice.
I felt like it was big A. I didn't feel like it was that like cringe writing or whatever.
Lisa.
Yeah. So anyways, Lisa's cover of her own song is pretty legit. That's all the news that I have for y'all.
All right, cool. Let's talk about this week's show.
Okay. So we're reviewing Doukyusei Classmates. And that's the English name. Doukyusei Classmates. It is made by A1 Pictures, and as we all know, A1 Pictures does Sword Art Online. That's like their number one go-to. Everyone knows it. Also, Fairy Tail, Erased, fucking You're Lying, April, all that good shit, right? And then the director of it, I was having some trouble figuring it out. I went to the My Anime List director profile, couldn't find anything about it. Went to his IMDb. So his name's Shouko Nakamura. And he, you know what? Could be a chick. I'm not 100%.
This director.
I don't think that there is a picture. I don't remember. Anyways, the director has directed an episode of Darling in the Franxx and an episode of Kill la Kill and an episode of Lupin the Third, a woman called Fujiko Mine. And he's directed an episode of Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt.
Or she.
Yeah, or she. 2 episodes of Kimi ni todoke. But most importantly, 14 episodes as the chief director on Mawaru-Penguindrum. So, lots of different little things. But this one, I feel like it stands out more than the others because he got to do his own movie. And it was a very different romance movie than most anime has.
Or she.
Yeah.
Just so people know, we had to rent this on Amazon, right? That's the only place we could find it. The options were to rent or buy. So we obviously decided to rent it. We're not going to just straight up buy something. We're not dumb.
Well, I'm pretty dumb.
You're pretty dumb. So yeah, when did this movie come out? 2016, I think you said.
You know what? I would have to look.
I'm going to say 2016.
You called it winter 2016.
Nice, nailed it.
So it was at the very beginning of 2016.
So it's something that I don't know how you became aware of it, but it's something that we missed. We hadn't watched.
I think I had an anime calendar or something, and it was like December on the calendar because it was like, hey, next month there's going to be this anime coming out. But I didn't really know about it. It wasn't really on my radar. I hadn't heard anybody talk about it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know if I'm in the mood for like a gay romance anime that if it's made from Japan, I don't really know how they're going to be addressing it, right? Yeah. I'm like, I don't really know if they're going to go too hard on some things or they're not going to. Anyways, it feels like Kaze-san and Morning Glories, those of you that have seen that, but dudes.
Yeah.
So I'm into it.
Yeah, I mean, I joke all the time. about how I love. I don't actually. This isn't a joke. I love love. That's not a joke. I'm
That's
serious.
not a joke.
I love love, and I'm also a huge proprietor of lesbians. Huge fan of lesbians, and I also like. I mean, I'm going to say it, guys. I've become a fan of boys liking boys.
Yeah.
What's that called in Japanese? Given. Oh, what is it called? It's not boy love. It's called something else. Like there's Yuri and there's
Yaoi.
Are they okay? I want to clarify this.
It's not always porn.
It's not always porn, right?
No.
Okay, cool.
That's just what girl love and guy love is called.
Okay, cool. So these two characters are in high school and they're both gay. Which wasn't shocking, right? Because I came into it knowing that these characters are gay, so it's like great. But
and honestly, it comes out like
super
right away,
quick. Yeah. And I understand what you're hesitant to want to dive into this because historically Japan isn't very accepting of people who are like homosexuals or whatever. And I always say like it's crazy how Japan is very anti-gay.
Yeah.
But a lot of the shit that they make like in media is very gay.
Yeah. Like they have their own word for the kind of media that it is. Yeah. It's yaoi.
And it's great because like not only was this the story about these two characters gay, it was also very well done, like very like appropriate, very like
they did a great job with it.
There wasn't any like undertones of being like this is bad or going to hell kind of vibes. It was just like these characters are gay and they're in love, and I go cool because that's kind of how it is. Like,
and this was a story about their relationship in high school. They're from different creeds, essentially. One of them's like a little bit nerdier and more...
I would say like straight edge good kid, right?
Yeah, just like on the right track kind of guy. The other one, he's a little bit grungier.
Punk rock.
He's a rocker. He plays guitar in a rock band.
He's got like long blonde hair and purple shoes.
Yeah, and he's fucking rad. They're both pretty all right. Of course, we don't get as much insight on... the one who's a little bit more clean cut and everything.
Well, yeah, our main character is for sure like the more like bad boy of the two, which you pointed out pretty quickly. That's something you actually don't really get in like these kind of shows or whatever.
Yeah.
Movies. It's usually like we get to see the clean cut person interact with this, with the rebel. And this way it's like a rebel seems to find interest in this like good kid.
Yeah,
which is like a nice, again, like simple change of pace, right?
It was good.
The movie starts off and very quickly, like you and I, like we go, wow,
this animation
is great. Like we really like the way it looks. Visually, like the backgrounds are well drawn, and they're also like kind of almost watercolor at points.
Yeah, they use watercolor a lot. The focus is clearly on like a couple of characters, and the way that they emphasize those is just by making them look normal, while everyone else like
super
might get
simplified.
removed eyes, and they kind of it looks really cool. I like it.
They really simplify them. Like they'll do the face and like shoulders, and I mean face like a circle for the face.
Yeah.
They'll put hair on them, and maybe they'll do like a single line for the nose and like no eyes, and it's just like it's scary. But I know what that's supposed to be. Or they'll be like, this character has like 2 dots for eyes, or this character has whites for eyes. It's like it's really nice because
I like it.
It like there's when you look at the screen, there's plenty of stuff to look at, but they're obviously purposely being like, you're supposed to be looking right here, like they're guiding you.
And it's not like they went with the classic anime trope of having that golden seat or whatever. What's it called?
I think it's called the golden
seat that's back in the corner of the room right next to the window.
No.
These kids are on opposite sides of the room and they're staring at each other and shit, so they do have to draw the other characters that are all around them.
Yeah.
And I always appreciate that when anime does that shit, where they put in that effort to make it feel a little bit more genuine.
Or more realistic, right?
So I really appreciated it.
All the main characters in anime can't be sitting in that one corner,
Yeah, pretty much. But also the emphasis was just on these two characters, with a little bit of side characters that didn't have a huge impact in it.
Yeah.
It was a really easy, quick watch.
It was only an hour. It was like an hour and a minute long.
Yeah. It's nice and quick.
It was a breeze.
And honestly, it's just, okay, they're interested in each other. Apparently the different classes are having a competition
to sing,
see who could sing the best song or whatever.
Like in a choir setting. They go to an all boys school, by the way.
They do. And while they're singing, this kind of love develops between them. And they kiss and they're practicing together, and then it's conflicted how they're feeling. Of course, our main character is just like, "Oh shit, I'm sorry, my bad, dude. Like, peace out." Yeah, like my bad. Goes off after kissing.
After training, like because he's teaching him how to sing, giving him lessons because he knows the guy wants to do really good.
Because he's a musician.
It's very like it's one of those moments where like something drops, they bend over and grab at the same time, and very like aggressively he grabs him by the neck and kisses him, and I go, whoa, that is not cool. You can't just grab someone and kiss them like that. And then he's like, for being a really cool, like, you know, like a bad boy, he's very like manic at points.
Yeah, so he's immediately just like, oh shit, I fucked up. My bad, dude. Peace out. You have a good one. I'll see you in school.
Later, dude.
Woo!
Yeah, which is super funny because, like, you know, in real life, like if you were to fuck up like that, you'd probably feel like so awkward, right? And you go, what do I do? How do I backpedal? How do I get out of this?
And you're a teenager, so you don't have the skills to deal with it, pull it off smooth yet.
Especially maybe if like, this is your first time dealing with like this type of like sexual encounter, like, you know, something that's new to you. You go, oh, why did that happen? Why did I do that? I'm so confused. I feel really bad for the other person I kissed.
Right.
But he handles it for the most part in a very realistic way.
They figure it out and decide that
they're not going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Which is also
they're for sure still together and like into each other, but they're not addressing it in a normal way.
Well, they have
kiss sometimes, but
they have a singing competition, and like he runs away from the singing competition because like he starts crying.
Yeah.
And then the nice boy falls after him, and he confesses his love for him, or like, or at least confesses
like I'm afraid that I'm falling in love with you, dude.
Yeah. And then they kiss again, and you know, like I think because it's not clear, right? Like it's not clear that if the other boy was like also gay, but he seemed to like not have a problem with it, right?
Yeah, he wasn't like, that's not fucking okay, man. We're homies, but we're not that kind of homies.
Yeah, but
instead he was just like,
okay.
Well, he was a little bit more resistant, but he wasn't like actually saying no until the next little scene where they're walking home, and then they kind of start talking about what they are exactly. And our main character,
he's like fishing for a kiss.
Yeah. He's just like trying to get a kiss out of him. And also it's just like, well, I mean, like,
we're dating,
you know, we're dating. He's like, we're not dating. Like, oh, so you're just telling me that you kiss people when you're not dating them. And then it quickly turns into a fight because, you know, that's how it goes. A little tiff more so than a fight.
Yeah, they, you know, they're not dating. I think, I feel like it's very fair for him to be upset for, you know, to have someone assume like, yeah, we kissed this one time doesn't mean we're like a thing, you know?
Yeah.
So I felt that was like very realistic.
Yeah.
It boils, so they're fighting. And I think that
it's a little bit more blown up because
he'd overheard like a boy talking to him about him, you know, like, it's like, what's the deal with you hanging out with this guy so much? Like, are you guys like, and he goes like, it's nothing. We're just, you know, we just kind of hang out together.
Essentially our main character has a friend that they're both in the same band together. Right. So they're a little bit edgier. They're a little bit, you know,
they smoke with cigarettes. They're cool guys.
They're a little bit more rock and roll. And yeah, he's not ready to be like, yeah, man, I'm pretty into this dude.
Yeah, I'm dating this.
Because as we know, Japan's not super into that. So anyways, they figure out their shit by getting in a little fight, being like, okay, so we're not going to be together.
Yeah.
But still really want to be together. And then we, this is like one of the fucking most surprising parts in the movie for me. Main character's walking home with his rock and roll buddy, and suddenly goes like, hey, I'm going to head back. He's like, back? Back where?
It's like to school.
School?
He's like, it's raining. Like, what are you doing?
He's like, did you leave something there? Like, what's going on? Just trying to like help out his friend. Like, I'll come with you. And then his friend just takes off. So main character's sprinting back to school so that he could be like, hey man, I fucked up. Like, I really do want to date you. And just like say all that.
I should say, hey, do you want to go out with me? Which is all it was, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much all it was. And then he walks in on their teacher, who is trying
seducing. The good boy. Like he's taking off his glasses very sexy. Like, you know, I think was it a cigarette or like a popsicle? He's put it in his mouth.
I don't remember.
It was just like a bunch of stuff. Yeah. And it's just like they're about to kiss, and our main character
fucking busts in there.
He sees it, and like he like kind of stuns him for a second.
Cool like animation where he's like, "Fuck, this is going on." And then you're sitting there and you're watching and you're like, what's going to happen next? Is our main character going to run off like crying or something? Which is what I expected.
Yeah, which is what, you know what? I also expected that. And I think it's because we're usually seeing this story through the lens of the timid character, right?
Yeah, exactly. Not only that, we also saw him during that moment of like conflict earlier. He freaked out and ran away.
Yeah.
And then we just saw him freak out and run away during like no issue.
He's a runner.
So now that there is for sure an issue, we were like, this guy's going to run away.
And then it's like, and good boys are going to follow him. But we were wrong. Instead, he walks up to the teacher and decks him in the face.
Yeah.
He like knocks him out. He grabs him by the hand and they do the classic runaway, kind of thing.
Because like, what would you say? Like, yeah, I got hit by my student. We should expel him. Why did he hit you?
I was trying to kiss my other student.
Can't really tell you.
We were laughing about that because I was like, that was really well played because he's not going to tell on you, because then he gets in trouble. So anyways, they run away together. He apologizes and then he physically he asks him like, hey, will you go out with me? Like, it'd be really
very
cool.
Clean cut, just straight to the point.
Boom.
Want a date? Yeah.
Be my boy. And he says, yeah, which is really cool because that's all this person wanted.
Hell yeah.
So then very quickly, in the movie, time elapses very fast.
Yeah, they're all right, so this chapter's end.
Yeah. It's like new season's it's now autumn or it's now fall or spring or whatever. So I think it's near the last semester of their school. They've been dating this whole time. I think they get put in different rooms now.
Also they're kissing with tongue now.
Oh yeah,
so
they're kissing.
Pretty big.
They're
moves.
kissing super sexy now. But they're still just kind of doing themselves. And then the topic of almost every anime ever comes up. It's usually, hey, what high school are you going to?
Yeah.
But they're in high school, so now the topic's like, hey, what college are you going to? And obviously the rock boy's like, I don't really have a plan. I'm a rock and roll star.
Yeah.
But our good boy's like, well, my grandpa went to the school and my dad went to school, so I have to go to the school, which is a nice school, right? And it's like distance, it's a far away thing.
Yeah.
And obviously this is where drama comes in, and they're just like, well, I don't like this, and you're gonna be away from me, and it's like, well, this is what I have to do, and just bullshit, classic bullshit.
It's tough stuff.
They end up breaking up right over this.
Yeah, it's not so much a breakup. It's more like
they're separate.
Yeah, hey, we should take a little break because I need to study for school, and we just got to focus on our own things for a bit. Mm-hmm. But they called it breaking up.
Yeah. But they obviously still care each other. I like the scene a lot. The scene where our rock boy is in a hot springs with one of his homies.
Yeah.
And they're just talking, the way friends do. Mm-hmm. And then the topic of being like, hey man, this guy that you hang out with all the time,
what's your deal with him?
What's your deal with him? You're like, and then he's just like, you guys are friends, and he's like, or whatever. Cause tell me I'm your boy.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I care about him. And he goes like, oh, is he he's your first love ever? And just yeah, so it's it's a very nice thing to see. He's like, yeah, man, I like this guy, and the other guy's like, oh, that's cool, man, good for you.
Yeah, and then, normal friends would do.
And then he goes, yo, why are you guys fighting then? You guys care about each other. Who cares about how far apart you guys are? And he's like, you fucking son of a bitch, making good points over here. He's barely drawn. No one fucking. He's not even a main character.
Dude, he was great though. He was a great supporting character.
Yeah, and that kind of kicks our character in the ass a little bit. Yeah, that was funny. There was a character who was also playing Xbox or whatever earlier. He almost feels like,
and he was also being introspective while they were playing Xbox.
Yeah, he's just almost a throwaway character, but he's just because there's a low amount of characters in this fucking movie. Meanwhile, good boy's studying. Good boy's trying to go take his entrance exam tests or whatever, and he seems to be I don't know if it was you said it was one or two things. Maybe he's just scared to get on the train, right? He has he has anxiety to fail, right?
On his way to his test, he suddenly feels really sick. So he gets a call from a hard rock guy and essentially says, I feel really sick right now. I'm going to get off at the next stop. And he's like, okay, I'll see you in a second. He's like, man, you always make me worry, and sees him at the train station. He's like, man, we got to get you back on a train. We got to get you there. It's like, I failed all of my tests because of this exact same reason when I was trying to get into high school. And then you get that little bit of connection. So you're like, okay, is he afraid of trains because of the same exact thing happened is what he's saying? Or is it that anxiety of taking these tests that are really important that are making him feel sick?
Yeah.
But that's it. Or it's just he's really unlucky and he starts feeling like shit, which we immediately find out that's not the case because now he has that support with him to take him there and be like, dude, you fucking got this.
Hard Rock's like, I got you. Get on my motorcycle. By the way, he has a motorcycle.
Yeah.
I think he says, yeah, I just got my license. Get on,
which makes sense. I mean, he's 18.
Yeah, he's 18. They're older, right?
17, 18, whatever.
So he gives him a ride, and like they get there and he's like, get in there. He's like, relax. He's like, okay. He's like, you're going to fucking kill it. He's like, I'm going to fucking kill it, and he's like, all right, cool. I'll wait for you out here. And then like, the nice guy kisses, the rock boy. Like, and then it's just like a very like sweet thing. Cause usually it's the rock boy who's initiating like the romance and
all
stuff.
the intimacy. Yeah.
So for him to like kiss him openly like that, like made him really happy. He blushes and shit. And he goes, the line that made me like the movie was just like, I'll be right here waiting for you, darling. And I was just like, oh, that's really sweet.
I'm with this movie. All right, cool.
So he goes, does his test. Rock boy like falls asleep on the sidewalk.
Yeah. What would you do?
I fall asleep on the sidewalk all the time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
He comes back from his test. He's nervous because he's like, how'd you do? He's like, I don't know.
All right.
I hope I did well. And, and they're both sitting next to each other. And I think the rock boy's like, hey, can I kiss you? In the past, he just forced kisses on him. But I think he's learning, like, you get to be more like stealthy, not stealthy, more like, I guess, aware of like where you kiss or whatever. And, the nice boy goes, no, we can't because we're in public. And he's just like, that's fair, And again, the whole idea of like being gay in Japan isn't very cool. Like, you're very accepting. I was like, well, that's kind of sad. But then like the boy kisses him anyways, and they kind of like hold each other. And I'm like, oh, that's really sweet. Fuck people watching. They're gay and they're happy, and that's all that fucking matters. Yeah. And then it's just over. It's over, right?
Well, I mean, Rocker Boy's last show was happening. His last performance with his band.
Didn't he do that before that though?
He did. Yeah. There's a little bit of back and forth. So this whole thing is we get to see our clean cut nice boy. He's been studying super hard. He comes to the show, even though it's like super late at night, and he shows up and he's able to go and support for like a minute and gets to see his boyfriend perform.
He's killer, by the way.
Yeah, he fucking crushes it.
Girls are all about him. Like, he's so hot. And he's like, but like, he's going home with me tonight.
I heard that the vocalist for this band is the reason they're breaking up. He's apparently like going off to college or something like that. Well, that doesn't really matter. I mean, the guitarist is what's up. I don't know why the vocalist matters so much, but like the guitarist is fucking great. Anyways, so they fucking love our main character, and we get to see the perspective of nice kid, and he's just like watching everything and hearing these girls talk about how hot his boyfriend is, and he's like kind of embarrassed, but also is like, okay, well, one of them's encouraging the other one to go and hit on him and like try to get his phone number or whatever. So then nice kid's kind of like hanging out by the back room where the band comes out to rest for a minute. And the girl goes up and she's like, hey, I don't know if it's too forward, but like, do you have a girlfriend? He's like, no, I don't have a girlfriend. It's like, well, you don't have to answer. Like, don't worry. But like, you want to exchange emails or something? And maybe we could like chat and talk. Cause I've followed your band like ever since you started and I really like you guys. And he's like, yeah, sure. Let's do that. Let's exchange emails. This kind of sets, there's a little other tiff there. There's just, the normal relationship issues, but now they're a little bit different because they are gay. Yeah. So they're just not admitting that, hey, no, I'm in a relationship right now.
She did technically just ask, do you have a girlfriend? He's like, don't have a girlfriend. Didn't ask you had a boyfriend.
No.
The thing I do appreciate about this movie is that a lot of it did feel really based in reality. It felt like arguments or like situations that, can't happen and they're usually resolved or they're usually like dealt with in a reasonable way. A lot of times in like movies and TVs, like everything's really played up. Everything's like the end of the world. In this, small things like, like that, or like, I guess the biggest thing was the fucking teacher trying to kiss your boyfriend. Which happens sometimes.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Not all the time. But yeah, I really, that's what I really admire about it. It wasn't something super over the top. It was like a very, very grounded in reality.
Yeah, and it was kind of a subtle movie. They didn't have like big bombastic music tracks to back it all up. It was kind of just an acoustic guitar track, which fucking bopped. It was good. And then they had a lot of really simple looking scenes, simple looking animations, and I loved it. Whenever things would look certain ways, it looked fucking amazing.
There's a bit where like our main character's running down the halls, and he's got like these really Gumby looking legs, and they're like
some big old
rubber tubes looking bits. It's fucking great. Like the way things move in this movie is very unique.
Yeah, it's not realistic at all, but it feels perfect.
Yeah, it feels like it has its style of its own.
Yeah. So I really liked this.
I enjoyed it.
I don't know who I would recommend it to. It feels like it's very much in the same vein as Kaze-san and Morning Glories, which I said beforehand. So I guess if you're into that, go ahead and check this one out. and it's good. Like Bloom Into You is a very different thing going on, but it has similar vibes. Kaze-san is more similar to Doukyusei.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, people that I would recommend is it's for sure someone who
gotta be into romance.
Someone who likes romance, someone who's obviously into anime, and this wouldn't be a good like, hey, watch this out of nowhere. It might be confusing. There's not a lot of like, I wouldn't say like tropes, No,
this felt very like just like a movie.
So that's
not
good.
Too complicated. It was really straightforward and simple.
Yeah, very simple.
So you have to like animation or just romance.
And you gotta enjoy these characters because a lot of it is just character driven. It's just like what they're doing and how they're reacting to stuff because the plot's very, very simple. Like it's not fucking rocket science. It's,
you don't get to see much of their backstories or home life or anything.
Which is something that I for a second kind of felt like, because he mentions, I have a father, right? That like he wants me to go to school. I was like, I wonder if their parents are accepting of their way, and I thought they probably don't even know,
No,
and I was like, if they would have introduced it to, into the movie, it was like, that would have been like a whole can of worms. And I don't think that's the point of of this movie. It's not to be like, to break that, like that, that stigma or the ideology that, older Japanese people might have about being gay. Like that's
just a story.
It's just about two guys that are in love and they're dealing their shit and like they're working their way through it. It's not about like getting the world to accept who they are.
And it's good.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Not much more for me to say about it. What about you? Any closing thoughts?
No. I just want to say again, like, I think it looked great, and that's why I really enjoyed it. I don't know who I would recommend it to. A lot of people that I talk to that like anime, they don't like this kind of anime. So.
I think it's mostly for girls that are into romance, and it's also for guys. But I feel like more so, it's a romance. It's not like a rom-com or anything. Yeah. So you just have to really be into romance. It's not a shoujo though, so like
don't expect that at all.
Yeah, no, it's a movie. Yeah. More than anything.
Yeah, check. And like we said, it's on Amazon Prime. It's for sure. I think it's worth renting.
It's only a few bucks.
I don't think I would buy it. I mean, I don't buy movies most of the time, anyways.
No,
but it's cool.
It looks good. It was good.
Cool.
It was good time.
That's it.
Hey, next week we're going to be talking about the entire season of Naruto Shippuden.
Shut the fuck up, because I'm ready, Doug.
Okay.
No, I don't know what we're doing next week. We might do that other show you suggested.
Yeah, I actually found like a big old list of different movies that we haven't heard of exactly.
Okay.
Or some things we were aware of, like this one we were aware of. But we knew it existed.
Yeah, we hadn't watched it or nothing.
Didn't know any opinions. And then, I found this list of movies and it was ranked on there as one of the lowest ones. And I'm like, but... let's check it out. And it's good. So hopefully the next movie, even better.
Yeah, cool. So we'll have something for you guys next week. We don't know exactly what it is, but we'll figure it out. Anyways, if you like our logo, hit up Aaron from TurbyTops.com. If you like our theme song, check out Tom Master on SoundCloud and YouTube. Trip, where can people find us?
You can find us on Facebook. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. Same thing goes for Instagram. Look up the Instant Ramen Podcast. You can find us on Twitter. Tweet at Instant Ramen Pod.
Pakistan Fit.
And you could send us an email, instantRamenPodcast@gmail.com. Thank you guys so much for listening. I had a good time.
Yeah, it was fun.
Just a couple of boys being boys, sharing a little bit of love, even though you say you hate me. That's just love.
I would share a lemon soda with you any day.
Oh, frick.
For people who don't know, it's a little teaser for the movie. They drink a lot of lemon soda.
Thank you guys so much for drinking lemon soda.
Yeah. This is bye from Juan.
I'll see you around from Chris.
Hey, Trip, don't forget.
Just add hot water.